Be ready. 15 seconds. I am very grateful to the Government of India for having invited me to deliver the Sardar Patel Memorial Lectures this year on Mahatma Gandhi. It is quite appropriate that these lectures in the memory of one of the greatest sons of modern India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, should deal with different aspects of Bapu's personality and thought during the Gandhi centenary year. Sardar Patel had worked shoulder to shoulder with Gandhiji during our struggle for freedom and was one of his closest followers and co workers. Let us therefore remember him with deep gratitude as a distinguished architect of our country while celebrating the centenary of the father of the nation. I regard the centenary as a God sent opportunity for India and the world because it affords a rare chance to all of us to recollect once again Bapu's basic ideals and philosophy with a view to solving our own existing problems in a spirit of dedication. The UNESCO has appealed to all the nations of the world to organize Gandhi centenary programs in a befitting manner. In our own country, the National Committee has already drawn up an ambitious program of holding exhibitions, erecting memorial pillars, publishing Gandhian literature, intensifying various items of constructive work, and issuing special stamps and coins. Even so, there prevails a general impression in India that we have been gradually forgetting Gandhiji's high ideals and his way of life and work. It is therefore our sacred duty to do some critical thinking and introspection during this period with a view to reorienting our policies and programs for national development. Gandhiji was a practical idealist who tried his very best to solve various difficulties and problems in a rational and scientific manner, keeping in constant view certain basic principles which could not be sacrificed even for the liberation of the motherland. Gandhian thought is not based on some facts or utopian fantasies, as is often assumed by the so called intellectuals in India and abroad. The ideas of the Mahatma, though resting on the foundations of certain eternal truths, are eminently practical and realistic. We shall be overlooking his advice and guidance at great peril to India's vital interests and well-being. During the last 2 decades, our country has doubtless achieved notable results in various sectors of national development, and it would be improper to underestimate, much less denounce our own achievements. Nevertheless, the fact remains that we have not been able to resolve some of our basic problems of hunger, poverty, and unemployment. Further, while endeavoring to increase the rate of economic growth and augment production in agriculture and industry, we have not paid adequate attention towards strengthening the ethical standards of our people. Gandhi always stressed the great need for raising the moral stature of human beings while attempting to raise their standards of material living. He repeatedly reminded us that a nation did not become great merely by erecting huge buildings, establishing giant factories, and multiplying wealth for economic prosperity. While all these are important for upgrading the living standards of the people, a country becomes really great and worthy of respect only if her citizens practice the sterling qualities of the head and the heart which inspire them to sacrifice gladly their individual good for the larger interests of the nation. When we study Gandhiji's early life, we are surprised to find that he was in several ways a very average person and in some respects even below the average. As a student, he did not show any outstanding merit or brilliance. As a barrister, he did not make any special mark in India or in South Africa. As a political leader, he trembled while trying to sponsor a resolution at one of the sessions of the Indian National Congress. Neither did he possess any special qualities of eloquence in public utterances, and yet he was able to make a very deep impact on all those who came in contact with him. Ultimately, he proved to be our liberator from foreign domination, and we remember him with great respect as the father of the nation. The secret of his wide influence essentially lies in his insistence on truth and non-violence and his dedication to a life of sacrifice and service. He captioned his autobiography as the story of my experiments with truth. Even during the freedom struggle, Gandhiji never compromised with the principles of truth and non-violence for achieving temporary gains. He was prepared to sacrifice everything for winning India's independence, but not those fundamental ideals which to him were much more crucial than even Swaraj for India. In his cottage in Sevagram, Gandhiji always kept before him the following quotation from John Ruskin that the essence of lying is in deception, not in words. A lie may be told by silence, by example, by the accent on a syllable, by a glance of the eye, attaching a peculiar significance to a sentence, and all those kinds of lies are worse and baser by many degrees than a lie plainly worded.